Good morning, football fans. Monday morning, and welcome to a daily predictions video. That's right, I'm going to be committing this week to a video every single day. So we're going to focus on Monday's football predictions and betting tips. Just going to cram those keywords in there at the start of the video. There's some good games today for a Monday. We've got Arsenal away at Sheffield United. We've got Inter Milan playing, who had a fantastic weekend without even kicking a ball. We're going to look at player stats as well for the Arsenal game. But first, what we're going to do is create a quick filter that focuses on average goals. So we're going to go for total goals on average, 3.5 or more. And then we will say across the last 10 games. So show me teams, and we're going to save this for both teams. So show me games being played today on Monday, the 4th of March, where both teams in their last 10 games have seen an average of 3.5 goals or more. Now, you can add more qualifying rules into this if you want, occurrences and percentages in terms of actual goals scored by the teams. But we can see we've got Arsenal there, who are smashing it, to be honest. The average goals, we qualified both teams. So Sheffield United, we'll just take a quick look at the stats here before we move on to the player data later in the video. But in terms of the goals, we go to the last 10. And it was overall, wasn't it? And it is bang on 3.5 for Sheffield United. But in terms of goals conceded, 25 in the last 10 games, 2.5 per game, just 8 for Arsenal, which isn't exceptional by any means. It's obviously good. But in terms of goals, there's only one place you need to look when we're talking about Arsenal at the minute, and that is goals scored. They are on fire. 4, 5, 6, 3, 2, 5. And that comes after a bit of a wobble around Christmas time. So I don't think anybody in their right mind is going to bet against Arsenal tonight. Let us know your predictions in the comments for all of these games. If you're new to the channel, every comment will automatically enter you into a draw to win OddAlerts Pro. And because I'm going to be posting every day this week, that means there's going to be 5 winners across the week. Arsenal getting into the groove then at the moment. They've got a pretty full squad. I think Zinchenko might be potentially out for this one, but, you know, they've got the capability to cover those losses. And I think if they can keep Saliba fit, if they can keep Rice fit, I think they will maintain that title challenge. I don't see them winning the league. I don't know why. I just don't see them winning the league. I think Man City are too strong, and I think there's obviously something about Liverpool this year, with it being Jurgen Klopp's last year, you know, those late winners at the weekend. There's something brewing there. I think European football will also affect the title race. How are these teams going to cope with the Thursday, Sunday, or the Wednesday, Tuesday, Sunday, depending on which European competition you're in. Liverpool, obviously, in the Europa League. Arsenal host Porto, don't they, in the second leg of their Champions League tie after a 1-0 defeat in the first leg. Nice goal at the end of that game. So that's the Arsenal game in terms of the, you know, stats before the game. We will take a deeper look at player stats and put some bet builders together at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. But let's check out some of these other games from this filter today. So sticking with England, we have a under-21 game here, and if you know me, if you're not new to the channel, you know that I do love these leagues, especially for the alerts. BTTS, 71% of games, home and away. In terms of 2 or more goals, 100% at home for Stoke and away for Crystal Palace. If we toggle to overall, it stays at 100% for Stoke, and it stays at 100% for Crystal Palace. So goals expected. Let's have a look at the probability model as well, just to see what that is giving us. And it is giving over 1.5 goals a 90% rating. So I imagine the odds are not even available for over 1.5 goals. They are not. Over 2.5 goals at 1.33. So, as is my usual routine with these games, I will just set an alert. 1.6, let me know if it hits 1.6, 1.5. Let me know if it hits 1.6, you know, if there's a slow start or something like that. And then, of course, BTTS, let me know if that hits 1.6 as well. And hopefully we will see some alerts. This one is at 7 p.m. tonight, Monday. Next up, the Eerste Divisie in the Netherlands, the second division. This is another really, really fun league. I'm just going to close this because the stat scroller can give us some nice information here as well. BTTS away from home for Cambuur is 92%. And again, 100% for 2 or more goals. And these leagues, you know, decent sample size now coming into March time. In terms of goals scored, Cambuur as well, who are 9th compared to 16th for PSV's second team. conceded in 100% of games as well, the away team. So this is an interesting fixture in terms of those stats for the away side. We'll just confirm some of that by looking at the away form and the home form of both of these teams. So they've scored 2.15 goals per away game, but they've also conceded 1.92. As I always say, scroll down a little bit and you can check the occurrences. They are important. You could have the averages being pumped up or lowered or whatever because of a single game. So in terms of conceding, there is 0 clean sheets so far for Camber away from home, but they have scored in 92% of games. Now we'll check the results just to check out the recent games, and they're in no kind of form, are they? Jong PSV. I think Jong means junior or youth. Any Dutch people in the comments can confirm that. It is just one victory at home since August for this side. Now, they have just lost one game in the last 5 games, but you wouldn't trust this team, would you, unless it was goals that you were betting on. A 1-0 defeat in the previous game, but before that, over 2.5 goals or BTTS in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 out of 10, and then a 0-0 in December. So over 1.5 goals, certainly worth an alert just looking at this data, as we saw by the stats scroller and stuff as well. We will take a look at the odds for an away victory, 2.4. I think there's too many draws in there for Jong PSV for me, and the fact that they only lost 1-0 in the previous games means that they're potentially shoring up a little bit. 1.46 for BTTS here. If you're new to the channel, I do like to play doubles. I usually recommend maximum doubles. Don't be putting on 10, 15 folds. It's just stupid. You might as well just hand your money to the bookmakers and say thank you very much. But in terms of the doubles, I think even this is a bit too low for me. As we move on to Mexico, remember we were filtering for average goals, weren't we? And we can see we've got 2 teams here. Despite this home team being 11th, when we're looking at home form against away form, there isn't too much in it. 1.85 to 2.07. This is still a very good away team, no doubt about that. If we look at the goals, 2.38 and 3.2. So this away team is smashing it, to be fair, away from home. 3.2 goals per game, but they are conceding, as is the home team. No nil-nils. 38% clean sheet ratio and 27%. 46% BTTS, which is quite low. But it's not every week they play this team, is it? In terms of the clean sheets. They come into this having lost 7-0, which, looking at their recent results, is a potential anomaly, but they were playing the team that is first, Tigres. We look at this away team, we see that they've scored 14 goals in the last 3 games. They've scored 5-5, 4-1. Which is an interesting result there against the team that's 10th, 5-4. They are very, very capable of scoring. Away from home, they've scored 10 goals in the last 2 games. The head-to-head, 4-1, 4-1, 2-1, 4-0, 3-1. I think I've seen enough in terms of what I would like to put on for this game, but now the question remains, what are the odds? I would always suggest doing it in that order, looking at the data first. You don't want to look at the odds first and then be swayed by something because the odds aren't there. 1.41, I mean, it's likely, isn't it? So the probability model is giving us implied odds of 1.41 as well, so bang on the money. I will put this on for the predictions game, even though the points return is quite low. And if you are making doubles, what do you think about this one? How low will you go? How low can you go? It's like a game of, what's it called? The thing that they do on the beach, you know, where you go under the wooden stick. Why can't I remember the name of that game? I've not played it in a very long time, obviously. It was usually a New Year's tradition, wasn't it? Why is that? Why did that game always come out after New Year's? LIMBO. LIMBO. I've just Googled it. It is called LIMBO. Maybe it's an English thing. There's a stick, and the stick gets lower, and you have to continue to go under the stick. How low can you go in terms of the odds? When you're putting doubles on, what do you look for? For me, I think my minimum is 1.5. Anything under, I'll tend to set an alert, which I will just do for this game as well quickly. So tell me if it hits 1.8 for that game, and we will be notified. Now we can hit 3 on the keyboard just to change the stat scroller and show us the odds, so we can actually see that no game here is worthy, in my opinion, for that double, unless you wanted to put them all together, but I would not suggest that. So let's also now create another quick filter for over 2.5 goals. Let's say 60%, and then we can add a rule for the odds as well, just in case there is a threshold that you have, and we can say 1.5, and we get a few games here, sort by time. And we have one game that is in play, which is 3-1 already. It was 3-0 at half-time. So what you can do as well, if you go into a game that's finished, you can look at the peak odds and you can see what you would have got. So over 2.5 goals, it was 1.57 and it peaked at 1.8. Now, the probability model for this game was giving it a rating of 62%, which is implied odds of 1.61. So you would have got 1.8 if you'd have set alerts for that, or 1.57 pre-game. Still all right. And it was 3-0 at half-time. So that's just to show you as well that when you do a filter like that, if there's games in play that match it, they will show up. We've got another couple of games here. City versus Dubai United and Sigma Omolokuk. 1.57 for the game in the UAE and 1.67 for that Czech Republic game. So I won't delve into those. You can have a look. I will add these in the description so you can click them and just view all the stats completely free and open. And in the comments as well, what do you want me to cover tomorrow? Is there a specific market you want me to cover for tomorrow's video? Because obviously now that I've committed to a video on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I need content. I need to actually plan the videos because I think they're much better when they're planned. I did a live stream on Sunday which lasted an hour and a half. It was good. Thank you for everybody that came. I enjoyed it, but it's a bit weird because you just like, what do I do now? And then when more people join and you've already talked about the Man City game, and people are like, what's your thoughts on Man City? Just rewind. Oh, no, you can't rewind. It's live. Okay, well, all right. It is now time for Sheffield United Arsenal. We'll take a look at this one. We will put something together for this game. Get your comments in. What is the score going to be for this game? We'll jump back to the data for the game, of course, and then we will take a look at some player stats because I think that's where we might get some value. So first up here, we can see the table. Arsenal on 58 points. If they win, they will be on 61 points. And then obviously City on 62, Liverpool on 63. I just want to take a look at the bottom. Burnley lost. I actually did predict Bournemouth victory. I thought the odds were great, about 2.3 for a Bournemouth victory. And if you look at the amount of goals that Burnley have been conceding recently, they're gone, I think. They're just gone. Go and look at Burnley's home form. I mentioned it on the live stream yesterday. That is not the home form of a team that survives. And, you know, for Sheffield United, they're on 13 points. Nottingham Forest are on 24. We're getting to the stage now where you've got to be picking up points. I think if they get demolished here tonight, they're as good as down. They've won 3 games all season. It's relegation form. I'm sorry, Sheffield United and Burnley fans. At least when you watch Luton at home, they're still in the games. They're getting beat by 1 goal most times, right? And they're scoring. You know, look at that, 37 compared to 22 goals for Sheffield United, 25 for Burnley. Burnley, even against teams like Man United, against Chelsea and stuff, they have like 70% of the ball. They did it yesterday as well. They can't do anything with it. So enough about them. Let's make some predictions on this game. Get yours in the comments. We'll take a look at the probability model, but I don't think there'll be any surprises here. If we see 11.19 for a home win, 74% for an away win. Let's do a simulation, and it is a 2-0 victory for Arsenal. The most common scorelines 2-0, 3-0, 2-1, 3-1, and 3-2, 7.2%. Interesting there. Home goals 0.85 compared to 2.16 in this simulation. An average of 3.01, so just over 3. We looked at goals at the top of the video, so let's take a look at timing data. In terms of first half goals scored, 5 at home for Sheffield United all season, 12 away from home, 0.92. Let's look at overall form, shall we? And do this for both teams and look at the last 10 games, 1.3 that goes to for Arsenal. So in the last 10 games, certainly they have improved those numbers in terms of first half goals, but also look at that, second half goals, 1.6 as well. In terms of goals conceded, they're just playing very well, Arsenal. There's no other way around it. They've scored first in 90%, so 9 of the last 10 games. I'm just going through this because then we will jump to Bet365 after this and try and remember all of this data as we put together a bet for this game. So in terms of second half goals, 9 of the last 10 games for both of these teams did see a second half goal, at least 1 second half goal. In terms of 2 second half goals, 70% of the last 10 games, so 7 out of 10. That's why I put it to the last 10. It's just a bit easier for people to understand on the video. Now, in terms of conceding by half, we can see Sheffield United have conceded in the second half in 90% of games. Now, just my own thoughts and predictions on this is that because Sheffield United are in this perilous position, they're not going to go and attack Arsenal. That would be pretty stupid. Chris Wilder, he's been around the block. I think they'll try and keep this tight. They'll try and still be in the game with 20, 30 minutes to go. Whether they can achieve that or not is a different question altogether. And even if that is the plan, they've still conceded in 7 of the last 10 first halves played. If we go to last 5, it gets higher, to be honest. So it's not as if Wilder's come in and he's steadily improving things. So they are the timing stats. We'll take a look at cards now as well, and we'll take a look at the referee first. It is Samuel Barrett, who is a name that I'm not too familiar with. Looks like he's got some championship data in here as well. In the Premier League, he has officiated 12 games, 3.25 cards per game. I would say that is pretty bang on average. We can take a look at some of the cards by half as well. So like most referees, more cards in the second half, 2.17 compared to 1.33. Both teams booked in 8 out of his 12 games. And in terms of the distribution between home teams and away teams, he is giving the away teams a lot more cards, 2.17 per game compared to 1.33. So we can look at the card data here as well. Sheffield United across the last 10 games have received a card in every single game. Interestingly though, in just 6 games have Arsenal's opponents received a card. I think sometimes when you think of a team, you think, oh, they've got Saka, they've got Martinelli, they've got Jesus, they're going to get lots of cards. But actually, when a team keeps the ball as well as Arsenal, there's not that many cards sometimes, and that's just the way it works. And interestingly there, Sheffield United's opponents have actually been carded more than Arsenal's opponents in the last 10 games. If we look at overall form, it does shift a little bit. But who will get those cards? Who will have shots on target? Who will make the most passes? Let's take a look at all of that data right now. This is the player stats page on OddAlerts. You can go to oddalerts.com/players and it will load. I'll also put links to everything that is on this video in the description. Feel free to check out all this data. All this is open and free for anybody to go and look at. You can click on the players and view their individual profiles, as we will do with some of these players. But first, let's take a look at goals scored. 13 for Saka. I think this drives home the point that people make about Arsenal, that they do need that proper number 9 if they are to win the league, and I think that is what they're missing. Havertz, to be fair to him, has been playing well recently. He just causes a nuisance of himself, doesn't he, with his figure, especially when he drops into midfield a little bit. Trossard has chipped in with the goals recently as well. Martinelli not having the best season in terms of what he did last year, but Saka with 13 goals, really, really good for him. Let's have a look at shots on target, shall we? And I imagine this list is going to be dominated by Arsenal players. We've got Cameron Archer there and Ollie McBurney as well with 11 and 14. Let's have a look at per 90, shall we? And we see that Smith Rowe, when he comes on, is decent for a shot. When the game gets stretched and stuff, he usually comes on around 60, 70 minutes. Ben Brereton, interestingly, who signed in January, he has got a decent average so far after just 3 games played. Jesus 1.3, McBurney 1.25 as we saw. Let me know who you are thinking, who you are feeling for any of these stats. So that's shots on target. What about total shots? Is there anybody here we could have for a shot or 2 in the game? Saka would be the obvious one for me. Loves to cut inside and have a shot, doesn't he? Trossard, if he starts as well, looks like a very good option. 29 shots in 22 games, 2.84 per game. We'll just take a look at fouls committed as well for the card markets. And Tom Davies, now this is where you see the Sheffield United players. Tom Davies, Norrington Davies, Traore, Fabio Vieira of Arsenal, Timber, obviously still injured, John Fleck not playing, Mason Holgate suspended after that horror tackle on Mitoma, Baldock, the right back, 1.83 fouls committed per game. Nketiah pressing and Jesus pressing from the front, making fouls. So we'll end by looking at cards before we jump to Bet365, just to see who's actually leading the charts here. So the Sheffield United captain with 8 in 20. So in terms of Arsenal, it is Kai Havertz and Jesus. So pressing from the front, plenty of fouls at the top end of the pitch for Arsenal. And I think Arteta takes those little tactical fouls, doesn't he? The school of Pep, if you will. Havertz and Jesus could be good options for fouls. Let's jump now, given all this data, to Bet365. Just give you my thought process as well. Arsenal to score in both halves, I do like given the data, but 1.61 is a little bit low. You could have to win both halves. Arsenal as a nice way to start the bet builder at evens, just over evens. Half with most goals second is also something that crossed my mind, and the bookies are favouring it as well at 1.95. But Arsenal did have a good record of first half goals in the last 10 games. I think my thought with most goals second half is that Sheffield United will not want to be out of this game in the first half. They'll want to make sure they are still in with a chance, as I said before, with 20, 30 minutes to go. Just wanted to jump back to the team stats just to show you something quite interesting. In the last 5 games, Arsenal have averaged 1.4 shots on target against per game. 1.4. They are not giving up any chances. Saliba, Gabriel, Rice, absolutely superb at the minute, aren't they? Playing out of their skin. Gabriel as well, not a bad shout for a shot on target, given how he gets up for corners and given how Arsenal are absolutely incredible this season from set pieces. So in true Bet365 style, we're not allowed to bet on Gabriel Jesus or Kai Havertz for a foul. They're not offering it. And I don't really fancy any of those players. Declan Rice is quite a tiny player. He could make a foul, sure, but just looking at those, shots that Arsenal are not conceding, people are not creating great chances against Arsenal at the moment, and Sheffield United, one of the worst teams in the league. The captain, who has received the most cards, is 1.5. I quite like that as a base for the bet builder. You can certainly see a world where he makes a foul, given that he has picked up the most cards out of anybody across both of these squads. So I will start with that, and I'm recording this in the morning, so obviously I don't have the luxury of team news or the team lineups. I'm then going to add over 1.5 goals in the second half. I just believe Sheffield United will try and keep this game as tight as possible, but Arsenal will break this team down, and ultimately Arsenal, I think, will come away and will score a couple of goals. Sheffield United will must try to win the game as the game goes on, and if you stretch a game against Arsenal, it's not going to end well. And in terms of the cards, I'm going to go with over 1 card in the second half, which gets us to 3.10, which I'm quite happy with. So the base of this bet builder coming with the Sheffield United captain committing a foul, over 1 goal in the second half, and over 1 card in the second half. So that is my bet builder for the Arsenal game. Let me know what you thought about this video. Let me know what you think about this and all the games that I've mentioned. I forgot to mention Inter Milan, but I will just go and show you them quickly. I just wanted to show you something that I thought was quite interesting, and I just clicked off it. They've won 3 games in a row 4-0, and they've kept 5 clean sheets in the last 6 games, and they've had a perfect weekend without even kicking a ball, because Napoli beat Juventus, and this is a great chance for them to just, I think they've secured the title already. They're in superb form. Genoa unbeaten in 5 games, so it might not be the easiest game that they've played. It might not be another 4-0 victory, but you would expect them to win, and the odds are, 1.3 or something, so yeah, I'm not suggesting that you bet on this game at all, but I just wanted to show you that incredible record recently for Inter Milan. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you've got any feedback, any comments, please let us know. I will see you tomorrow for Tuesday's predictions and betting tips. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy these daily videos. I'll try it from Monday to Friday, see how it goes, see how I feel, see how much time I have, because I still need to build and produce new features and tools for OddAlerts as well. So hope you've enjoyed it. I will see you in the next one.